HBO's Game of Thrones became one of the most influential, revolutionary, and beloved shows on TV during its 8-season run between 2011 and 2019. Adapted from George R. Martin's fantasy novel series, A Song of Ice and Fire, Game of Thrones saw the noble families of the fictional continents of Westeros and Essos embroiled in a web of political conflict as each laid claim to the Iron Throne, the ruling seat of the Seven Kingdoms. This dynastic storyline kept audiences engaged throughout, making Game of Thrones, despite some criticisms, one of the most successful TV shows in history. Game of Thrones' popularity has spurred the development of a number of spin-offs, including House of the Dragon and the upcoming A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms series. While these would obviously be the perfect shows to watch if you still miss Game of Thrones' fantasy and political narrative, there are many other series with similar themes that deserve to be seen, too. These shows emulate Game of Thrones' political intrigue, fantasy textures, and even the series' more science fiction elements, which make them fantastic successors and predecessors to Game of Thrones. Also adapted from a medieval-inspired book series, this time Wiedźmin from Polish author Andrzej Sapkowski. The Witcher premiered on Netflix in December 2019 and is set to soon debut its 5th and final season. The Witcher introduced Geralt of Rivia, initially Henry Cavill, later Liam Hemsworth, as a magically enhanced monster hunter who embarks on various fantasy-inspired adventures. These historical themes perfectly emulate Game of Thrones, while The Witcher has a more intimate focus with a smaller cast and more insular storyline, which differs from Game of Thrones' epic, world-spanning scope and political power struggles. Based on Bernard Cornwell's The Saxon Stories series of novels, The Last Kingdom is similarly inspired by an English historical period, this time covering the birth of England in the 9th and 10th centuries. The Last Kingdom's historical exploration focus on Uhtred of Bebbanburg's, Alexander Draymond, struggle between his joint Anglo-Saxon and Danish heritage, and battle action sequences are all reminiscent of Game of Thrones. The Last Kingdom received critical acclaim throughout its 5-season run on BBC Two and Netflix, so it carries a similar prestige and impact as Game of Thrones.